Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Classic Animated Gwen Stacy action figure. Now, I believe this is based on the Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s. This is in retro packaging. It's got the card on the back, the blister on the front, kind of like the old 5-inch figures were back in the day. So let's go and check out the packaging here. At the top, Marvel Comics, ages 4+, Spider-Man, here's Gwen Stacy in her animated look, and then here is the figure. Now, I really like civilian action figures. I can use this girl for a ton of different action figure scenarios and dioramas. She has a Gwen Stacy head, as well as a Mary Jane head, so you can have her be either character. She comes with a purse, a high school book, and then a Daily Bugle sort of plaque. Backside here, you can see the rest of the wave. And then there's a barcode in case that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open her up. And I did end up getting 2 of these figures. The fact they gave us Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy's head demanded that I get a second one. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out. She does come with an alternate head for Mary Jane, and that is a great accessory for this action figure, effectively giving you 2 figures in one. She has a book that says Midtown High School on it. She's got a rolled up newspaper, the Daily Bugle, and then she's got sort of an accordion style file folder, although it's colored blue, which is kind of odd. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy is one of Peter Parker's classmates from the animated series. She's kind of been his girlfriend on and off over the years in the comics. But of course, Mary Jane is the true girlfriend for Peter Parker. So I bought this figure mostly to use her for a civilian or regular looking action figure in my background world. So many options and possibilities for her. I like her face. They did a great job. Her eyes look good, her lips, little headband, hair blown to the side. Really like her a lot. We've got that jacket, the sort of open belt in the back, black shirt, purple skirt, some high boots, double joint knees, looks like double joint elbows, nice amount of articulation, having a little trouble with her standing due to her high heels. Overall, very much a winner. And then here she is, broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. And even though she doesn't come with any alternate hands, they do pop out completely with ease. And her hands suck. I absolutely hate them. The left gripping hand is a complete circle and doesn't look very natural. And the right one is that really odd hand they've given Mary Jane several times. It just looks really contorted and weird. And just like I said earlier, I did get 2 of these figures. Here they both are with all their accessories laid out. Now I've got myself a new Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy, or just some background characters from my Gotham City. Really like civilians. Really liking this purchase so far, especially because it can get you 2 different characters. Now let's check out her accessories, and let's start off with her heads. Here's her first head. This is the Gwen Stacy head, and I think it looks great. From the bangs, to the eyes, to the lips. Just excellent execution here. And here's the Mary Jane head. Equally as nice. They did a great job. I like her lips, her eyes, the red eyebrows. Her hair looks great. It's sort of wavy at the bottom. It's got several different shades of red and black in there. Overall, these are 2 excellent looking women action figures. And here are both their heads next to each other. Of course, the fact that I bought both these figures is going to leave me with 2 extra heads. They're probably going to end up going to my fodder pile. I don't really have anything in particular in mind for them. Although that Gwen Stacy head might make for a good Stephanie Brown. That's the real identity of the Spoiler, a Batman ally. Here's this Spoiler character with her mask on. And here she is, potentially with her mask off. In fact, I might just use this Gwen Stacy as my Stephanie Brown in civilian attire. At least double up as her, among other things, in my action figure world. That works out really nicely. I can have Spoiler fully costumed, Spoiler with her hood and mask off, and then Spoiler in civilian attire. Here she is, next to my Tim Drake in civilian attire. Tim Drake is currently Red Robin in the comics. and he's had an on and off relationship with Stephanie Brown since the 90s when he was Robin. And here are all of my Batman and allies in civilian attire, custom figures. From left to right, we've got Bruce Wayne Batman, Damian Wayne Robin, Dick Grayson Nightwing, Tim Drake Red Robin, Stephanie Brown Spoiler, Kathy Kane Batwoman, Duke Thomas The Signal, and Jean-Paul Valley Azrael. Next, let's look at our file folder. You can see at the top it's got a flap where it would presumably open, the side where it should be able to stretch out and expand. Pretty basic, but pretty nice for a student or office type setting. And she can hold it like this, looking super awkward. And it does look a little bit better in her other hand, but still a little awkward. Here's her book. It says Midtown High School on the front. Pretty small, pretty thin. Even the pages are painted red. A little bit lazy. Here she is holding her book. Then is her rolled up newspaper accessory. It says Daily Bugle on the side. Pretty basic. Not much to say about this. Here she is holding this newspaper. And it looks like now I've got a couple of rolled up newspapers for my dog action figures to chew on. Here's a dog carrying the morning paper for his master. Here are these two rolled up newspapers next to a flat, able to read copy of the Daily Bugle. It's a great accessory for Peter Parker, who works for the Daily Bugle, and here's his boss, Jonah Jameson, yelling at him. Could also be used as a pretty nice accessory for Clark Kent from the Daily Planet. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. From bottom to top, she's sitting at about 6.0 inches, which is going to translate to about 15.5 centimeters. Now let's look at her articulation. Starting with her head here, of course you're going to rotate from side to side. She can look down about that far, up about that far. Shoulders on a ball joint, they can go out about that far, a little more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. No bicep cut. Looks like double jointed elbows. Actually, it's single jointed, but they can go in quite a bit more than 90 degrees, almost getting you the double bend effect. Can rotate at the top. Wrist can rotate around, and it's hinged as well. Have I said I hate these hands? Because I really wish they gave us some different ones for her. She's got a ball joint here in the torso, can rotate around, allows her to go forward and back as well. Looks like no waist swivel down there. Legs, and go out about that far, a little slit in the skirt that allows her to go out. Beyond that, it's obstructed. Looks like we've got a thigh cut. Double jointed knees all the way back. No boot cut here. Feet can go up and down. And they can rotate, they cannot really tilt or rock. And next, let's check her out compared with some other action figures. Starting off with some other Marvel figures. Here she is with her counterpart, Mary Jane. It looked like they used Snapchat or Instagram to select their outfits the night before. Here they are next to Peter Parker, the only other figure I've got from this series. I'm looking forward to getting the classic Kingpin as well. Here's this Mary Jane figure, next to all the other Mary Jane figures that I have. Here are some various civilians from the Spiderman universe. We've got Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, Jonah Jameson, and Norman Osborn. As most of you guys are aware, I'm addicted to action figure world building. I love civilians and regular looking action figures that I can incorporate into my city and all kind of different scenarios and dioramas. Here are all my Marvel Legends figures that I put into the category of wearing regular clothes, at least somewhat, looking like regular civilians, great background characters. If there's anyone you're aware of that I could add to my collection for that purpose, please drop me a line in the comments below. And now, let's check them out compared with some other action figure lines from different various companies to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Here they are next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. And here they are with some SH Figure Arts action figures. then with some Mafex figures, and here with some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures, then with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures, and some Mattel wrestling figures, then with some NECA figures, and here they are next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures, then with some McFarlane figures, and here they are with some DST or Diamond Select toys. So I'm going to have to say this Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane figure is really nice. The sculpt and paint is excellent. I don't see any paint blemishes, and their faces are great. The articulation is good, a little bit of blockage from the skirt. The fact that they come with two different heads and you can make two different characters and action figures really sets this thing apart from the other figures. Really makes this thing nice. If I were to rate these two figures, I'd give them a good 7.5 out of 10. Really enjoying the way this turned out, and I have a lot of uses between Stephanie Brown or background characters, or hell, even Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane in certain scenarios. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.